So this is the bottom of the stairs into our basement, and my husband so kindly set this area up for me, and I have just made it a giant mess. There was a black shelf here that had some things on it for storage, and when I decided to start my seeds, I decided, oh, I'm just going to use that for seeds, and I never put it back. So I need to organize this area. This is my storage area, my drying station, which I need to organize and take stock of everything. And then we've got our freezers that have like the bulk stuff in it. And then through this door is my canning room. And right now it is full of empty jars. I am so impressed that this corn has lasted as long as it has. I got a really good deal on some fresh corn last year, and so I ended up canning all of it, and so I pull it out to like use it in like tortilla soup or stir fry or whatever I feel like. So I'm super stoked about that. It has dwindled quite a lot. I did have 2 stacks, so if that tells you anything. These shelves can fit 4 of these pint sizes deep. So when double stacked, I can fit 8 deep. For the quart size jars, I can comfortably fit 3, but sometimes I'll squeeze a 4th one kind of in the middle of the rows. So over here, I've got some beef bone broth. Here I have my homemade pho broth, which I haven't gotten into yet since after making it. I've been trying to save it. And then on this shelf it was kind of an experiment. I used some tomatoes and I mixed it in with like a beef broth, or turkey broth. So it's a tomato turkey broth is what I'm calling it. And I think I burnt it a little bit, so it has kind of like a bitter after flavor, but I'm not gonna throw it away. I'm just gonna disguise it. And then I have my pinto beans. I do like them like this better. I don't have to cook them again, whereas these ones, I didn't put enough water in there, and so they're pretty much dried on top. And then I have some Cajun pinto beans here. I have some chickpeas here.
Chickpeas!
Yep, for making hummus and stuff, or crispy chickpeas. Those are fun. Then I'm getting low on my black beans. I need to restock these, but these are my black beans. Back here, this is where we've made the most dent in our supply, is our pickles. And this whole section used to be full of pickles. We've got a few jars in the back. We did spicy pickles and regular pickles last year. And then I also did some sliced pickles. I'm just now finishing up our this is the last row of our pickled jalapenos, which are yummy toppers for pretty much everything. So we've got 6 quarts left of that. So I will need to redo that this year. Over here, this is mostly just empty jars. All of these down here are empty. And then up here, I've got some like random things that I've had for a couple years just kind of sitting up here. I've got some nettle that I harvested a couple years ago with my friends. I'm not sure if it's even worth saving at this point. And then I love these. These are bachelor buttons that I foraged a while back. I think it was probably a year ago now, but I was planning on making some like bath stuff, like bath teas or something with that. And then I've got some yarrow back there. But this section right here is mostly just like inventory that needs to be filled up. These boxes are full of empty jars. These are lids, empty jars, lids. And then those are jars that I got hand-me-down to me. They're just really cool glass jars. I wanted to use them for my kombucha, but I still need to clean them, and they've just been sitting down here. So when I moved my black shelf, I moved a lot of the things that were on my black shelf. So like bulk spices, quinoa, there's some black beans, vacuum sealed. I've got a bunch of lemon down there. And then we have some mice traps. We've caught, how many? 1 or 2 rats down here. We have rats around. So we got a couple different traps, which is kind of gross to look at right now, but they're doing a good job catching the spiders. This is our wild caught and canned tuna that my father-in-law gives me. And then I usually have quite a nice stock of just canned chicken breast over here, so I'm gonna need to restock those. I've got 1 pork right there in the middle right here, but we're not a huge fan of that, so I'm not gonna redo that. Over here, I've got some lentils, and this was my first time canning lentils. I'm not sure why it has that black top. I think it's just from the lentils themselves. I'm not super worried about it. All of them are sealed. I've got sweet potatoes here that I canned. We don't love the sweet potatoes. They're very mushy for my tastes, and they're hard to use unless you're gonna use it for like sweet potato pie or sweet potato bread or something like that. I've used it in pancakes, but probably not gonna redo that. And then again, I've got a bunch of empty jars down here that we have emptied throughout. And then over here, on these bottom shelves was applesauce. That is all gone now. Actually, oh, we've got 2 jars left of applesauce that need to be used up. No. These are chopped apples and like a very light syrup. I did that so that we could use that in oatmeal or something like that. Then we've got some spiced plums, which are really, really delicious. I actually tried turning my spiced plums into a sorbet and it was disgusting. We won't do that again. We're just working through, we've got 2 jars left of my cardamom pear apple butter, and then the rest of this is plum barbecue sauce. We need to just use that. It's not our go-to. I made a bunch of it and it wasn't my favorite, so I won't be making that again.
Wait, is that the
Up here we have plum jam, which is one of my favorite types of jams to make. After going to Romania, I am just sold on it. Oh, this one needs to be thrown out. I'm glad I checked it. This one, the lid failed. So this is 3 years old this year, and you can tell that it's going bad because the seal is gone. So that needs to be dumped out. You can take that for me and dump it out. Oh, don't make a mess though.
Doesn't look bad.
No, but we're not going to eat it, okay? So yeah, these need to be finished up. I don't think the kids prefer this one. This is my favorite, and I haven't been eating a ton of bread lately. So the rest of these are good. I'll try to work through these soon. Then we have some like just preserves. I didn't really add any sugar. I think I did like a light syrup or something, but these are just preserves. Back here I have pizza sauce that I canned, and then back here I have some lard, 1 more jar of tallow down here. This is my grape preserves. I messed up on this and it tastes like burnt molasses, so I need to just empty that out and start over. We've got a few blackberry jams left, 3 of them to be exact. That was one of our favorites. And then I've just got some extra vinegar down here. This is my plum preserves. It's pretty much like plum jam. And then we've got some plum sauce, like an Asian inspired plum sauce. So we've got 3 of those. And then we have pickled beets. I need to put these down by the pickles so that I remember what they are, because I always think that they are spiced plums and they are not. We've got some dried apples and then some whipped honey, whipped raw honey, and some of my tinctures that have been up here for a little while. This one is an allergy tincture I made. I've got like a sore throat one, a relaxing one. So yeah, this is my canning room that gets pretty full during the summertime. And I've got a bunch of empty jars up there as well. Those are wine bottles that we were gifted. I'm so stoked about this. One of them is named Wilder, and it was given to me when Wilder was born. So I'm going to keep that for him. But yeah, this is what we're working with right now. I've got to go ahead and clean it all and organize it up and then restock.
Yep. Did you notice what happened in the driveway?
Running in everything. Wow.
You see that?
Yeah. So Mabel and I are down here organizing. We have moved back the black shelf, and my husband was so gracious and finally set up my shelves that I've been nagging him about. Also, the same day we started to do something down here, we noticed that the freezer that has all of our meat in it was thawed because somebody left the freezer door open. And so right now I've got a cooler full of meat that I have to take care of, and gave me a chance to clean out the bottom of the freezer. So I've got that mess that I still have to clean up. But other than that, we are trying to organize the canning room. The goal is to get all of this up off of the floor, and then also to get all of this stuff right here into jars or on this shelf over here that we kind of have been organizing our stuff onto. The salsa screen that I can put down there, all of our, all of these different items we can stick in there. That way they're not taking up room on the shelf out there, and they're up out of the way. I don't know.
We have that big
Here, go ahead and put this up there. And go ahead and put this up there. So over here, we're putting all of my herbs and stuff that I have upstairs. I'm going to be bringing them down here since we've already made our tea blends.
Got a load of herbs.
Okay.
Got some arrowroot. We need to bring our labeler down.
Yeah.
Got to label this too. I'm going to put
Favorite things that I've gotten so far. It's a label maker, and it makes the cutest little labels. They're like 3D, which I love. So that's what we're gonna do with the ones that we just filled up. We're gonna label them before we get them on the shelf. I've got a lot more on my shelves than I did before. Not as much as I was hoping for, but down here we have spiced pears. We have pear pie filling here. We have applesauce here. I didn't make very much of it. I still have my spiced plums and my apples from the last year. And then here I've got my grape, whatever it is, I'm not sure. It's like a jelly, maybe, a grape jelly. I'll link the video where I made all of those. I've got elderberry jelly here, a bunch of them. All of this here is elderberry jelly. And then I've got just the 2 remaining blackberry jams. I've got a blueberry sauce that I made this last year. I'll link that video above as well. And then I've got some Marionberry syrup back here. We've already mostly gone through that. And then the other day I made some mixed berry syrup when our freezer went out. This is a smaller version of the salsa that I made. We've already pulled quite a few jars from there. And then I made cider bone broth here for bone broth hot chocolate. I've got the plum preserves still up here. And then this is all of my vanilla cardamom pear butter that I make every year, which I will link a video or put a card up here for that video also. I did dry a bunch of apples in our dehydrator, so that way I can put them in oatmeal or in like trail mixes. Chopped them up really fine and then just put them in there. And then this is just stuff I bought at Costco, tomato sauce. And these are the 2 leftover tomato soups that I made last year. And then all the things that I had before. I did make some more elderberry syrup up there. And then I've got some elderberry syrup here and here as well. I'll put those all up there.
Mom.
On this side.
Mom.
Yeah.
Could I have a carrot?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Love you. And then over here, you can see I restocked all of my chicken broth here. I did some more corn and just kind of pushed them back. And I'll link the short here for you guys to watch. And then all of this shelf all the way back, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 deep, I believe. These are all this year's pickles. And then I've got some garlic carrots that I chopped up. I only have 7 of those. I plan on making more. This is my brandy. My apple brandy wine is what they call it, but it's not quite done yet. I'm gonna let it keep going, but you can kind of see it's still bubbling there. And then I have just leftover pickles and jalapeno pickles over here from last year. And then as we go down here, right here, I've got white chicken chili that I canned when our freezer went out, and some canned green beans back there. I've also got some corn chowder here, and then I've got some canned potatoes that I followed Ruth Ann's recipe for. I've got the sweet potatoes still, the lentils, the turnips, and then I restocked my chicken down there. I've got some like personal sized chickens, and then big chickens for dinner and stuff like that. And then I restocked. My father-in-law was so kind and gave us some more tuna. And then down here is just all of our barbecue sauce. It's not our favorite, but I can't seem to like bring myself to throw it away. So that is what we're working with so far. I still have a bunch of stuff in the freezer that I need to process through. I ended up using this thing for all of my like random rings and lids that I have found throughout all of this cleaning process. I still need to clean those kombucha jars, but I'm just gonna leave them there for now. And hopefully those will last until March when I plant them in the ground. And then in here, we've got this black shelving unit put back up for storage. And this I brought down here to either use for like keeping tomatoes or, you know, fruits and veggies during the summer, or drying herbs. So I brought down all my herbs. It's so pretty.